Welcome to Speak English Confident. I'm Nora, and I'm really happy you are here today. Today, we are going to talk about something very personal, something many English learners quietly struggle with. Not grammar, not pronunciation, not vocabulary. We are going to talk about expressing your true passions in English. Many learners can talk about work, they can talk about weather, they can talk about daily routines. But when the conversation becomes personal, when someone asks, "What do you really love?" suddenly words disappear. And today, we change that. Yes, that happens to me a lot. I can introduce myself, I can talk about my job, but when someone asks about my dreams or interests, I feel uncomfortable. I start thinking, what if my passion sounds strange? That feeling is very human, Mile. Many people believe their passion must sound impressive. They think it must be serious, successful, or socially acceptable. But passion is not performance. Passion is honesty. And English becomes powerful when it carries honesty. Let me ask you something. When someone asks, "What do you enjoy doing?" what happens inside your mind? Honestly, my brain becomes busy. I start translating, I worry about grammar, I also worry about judgment. Sometimes I change my real answer. You change your real answer? Yes. If I love something simple, like watching old movies or learning psychology videos online, I feel it sounds childish, so I say something safer like, "I like traveling," or "I like music." You are not alone. Many learners choose safe passions instead of true passions. Today's lesson is not only English learning, it is confidence learning, because language and identity are connected. When you hide your passions, your English feels smaller. When you share your passions, your English becomes alive. Let's start with an important idea. You do not need advanced English to talk about deep things. You only need honest sentences. For example, I really enjoy learning about human behavior. I love drawing even though I'm not professional. I feel happy when I cook for people. Simple words, real emotion. That sounds simple when you say it, but in real conversation, I still feel nervous, especially speaking with fluent English speakers. Yes, because fear is not about English level. Fear is about judgment. Let's explore this fear together. Imagine you meet new colleagues. They ask, "What do you do for fun?" What would you say? I might say, "I watch movies." Is that your real passion? Not exactly. I actually love studying communication and self-improvement topics. I watch videos about psychology and human relationships for hours, but I worry they might think I am strange. This is a perfect example. Many learners think passion must be impressive to others, but real communication happens when you allow curiosity. Instead of hiding, you can say, "I really enjoy learning about psychology. I'm curious about how people think." Notice something important. You are not showing off, you are simply sharing curiosity. Curiosity makes conversations warm. So passion doesn't need big vocabulary? Exactly. Let's learn a powerful speaking structure today. This structure works everywhere: work, friendship, travel, online conversations. The structure is what you enjoy, why you enjoy it, how it makes you feel. Example: I enjoy reading about personal growth because it helps me understand myself better. It makes me feel calm and motivated. 3 simple steps. Let's practice together. Tell me one real passion. Okay, I enjoy learning communication skills because I want to connect with people better. It makes me feel confident. Beautiful. Did you notice? Your English sounded natural because your emotion was real. Now I want listeners to try silently with us. Think about something you truly enjoy, not something impressive, something real. Maybe gardening, gaming, cooking, writing journals, listening to podcasts, learning languages. Now say in your mind, I enjoy blank because blank, it makes me feel blank. Pause. Emotion. I think one problem is comparison. When others say big passions like entrepreneurship or traveling the world, I feel my passion is small. Let me share an important truth. Conversation is not competition. People remember authenticity, not achievement. Someone who says, I love taking photos of street life, often creates deeper conversation than someone listing impressive activities, because passion invites stories. Let's explore a real-life scenario. You are at a social gathering. Someone asks, what are you passionate about? Many learners panic because the word passionate feels heavy, but you can answer naturally. You can say, I'm really interested in, I've recently started enjoying, I spend a lot of time learning about. These expressions reduce pressure. I like that. It sounds softer. Yes, soft language builds confidence. Let's practice a short role play. I will be a new friend meeting you. Ready? Ready. So, Mile, what do you usually do after work? After work, I usually watch videos about communication and self-development. I enjoy learning how people express ideas. That sounds interesting. What made you interested in that? I used to be shy speaking with people. Learning communication helps me grow and understand others better. Excellent. You see what happened? Your passion created connection, not judgment. Most people are curious, not critical, but our mind imagines criticism. Yes, I realize the fear mostly comes from within me. Exactly. Now, let's learn useful emotional vocabulary for passions. Instead of always saying, I like, try, I enjoy, I am interested in, I'm curious about, I'm really into, I've been exploring. These phrases sound natural and conversational. Example, I'm really into learning languages lately. I've been exploring photography recently. I like I've been exploring. It sounds relaxed. Yes, it shows growth without pressure. Now, let's talk about another common fear. Many learners worry their passion sounds childish. Do you ever feel that? Yes, I still enjoy animated movies and storytelling videos. Sometimes I hide it. Let me tell you something important. Passion does not have an age limit. An English conversation today values personality more than perfection. You can say, I still love animated movies. The storytelling inspires me. Notice the word still. It shows confidence, not apology. That feels powerful, actually. Yes, confidence often comes from small word choices. Now, let's practice emotional honesty. I'll give situations and you answer naturally. Situation 1. A colleague asks about hobbies. I'd say, in my free time, I enjoy learning about communication and personal growth. I like understanding how people think. Very natural. Situation 2. Someone reacts with surprise. Really? Maybe I'd say, yes, I find it fascinating. It helps me improve myself. Perfect. You didn't defend yourself, you simply explained. That is confident English. Confidence is calm explanation, not strong defense. Let's go deeper now. Sometimes fear of judgment comes from past experiences. Maybe someone laughed before, maybe someone ignored your interests, and your brain remembers that feeling. So when speaking English, the emotional memory returns. Yes, I remember sharing ideas once and people didn't respond much. After that, I spoke less. That happens to many people, but one conversation does not define your voice. Every new conversation is a new opportunity, and English learning becomes meaningful when you allow yourself to be seen. Let's try a deeper speaking practice. Complete this sentence. One passion I rarely talk about is... One passion I rarely talk about is studying human behavior and emotional intelligence. And why do you rarely talk about it? Because I worry people might think I overthink things. Now, let's transform that into confident English. You could say, I'm very interested in human behavior. I enjoy thinking deeply about communication. See the difference? No apology, just clarity. I feel more confident already just hearing these examples. That is the power of language framing. You are not changing who you are changing how you express who you are. And today, listeners are learning that English fluency is not only vocabulary, it is emotional permission. Permission to speak honestly, permission to sound human, permission to share passions without fear. Soft pause. Let's continue exploring how real conversations grow when we stop hiding our interests. When people begin sharing their real passions, something interesting happens. Conversations stop feeling like interviews and start feeling like connections. Many English learners think conversation means answering questions correctly. But real conversation is not a test, it is discovery. And discovery begins when you allow others to see what excites you.
I think I understand that idea, but sometimes I still don't know how much to share. I worry about talking too much.
That's a very common concern. Some learners stay silent because they fear saying too little. Others become nervous because they fear saying too much. The key is balance, and balance comes from interaction, not perfection. Let me show you a simple conversation rhythm. Share a little, pause, invite the other person. For example, I've been learning about communication psychology recently. I find it really interesting. What about you? What topics do you enjoy learning? You share, then you open space.
So passion sharing is not a speech.
Exactly. It's a bridge. You walk halfway, the other person walks halfway. Let's practice another real life situation. Imagine you're meeting someone for the first time at a cafe. They ask, so, what do you usually do in your free time? Many learners give short answers like, I watch movies, I listen to music. These answers are correct, but they close the conversation. Instead, we can expand naturally. Try this. I enjoy watching movies, especially stories about personal growth. I like films that make me think about life. Now the conversation has direction.
I see, you add a small detail.
Yes, details invite curiosity. Curiosity creates conversation. Let's explore a powerful speaking tool today, the why sentence. Most learners stop after saying what they like, but fluent speakers often explain why. Example, I enjoy cooking because it helps me relax after a busy day. The word because transforms simple English into meaningful English.
So, because makes my English sound deeper?
Exactly. You don't need advanced grammar. You need emotional connection words. Words like because, so, that's why, it helps me, it makes me feel. Let's practice together. Tell me one passion again, but now include because.
I enjoy learning communication skills because I want to understand people better.
Beautiful. Now add feeling.
It makes me feel more confident when talking to others.
Perfect. You just created a complete personal expression. And listeners, notice something important. None of these sentences are complicated. Fluency often looks simple. Now let's talk about another emotional challenge. Sometimes people respond to your passion with silence. Have you experienced that?
Yes, that is actually one of my biggest fears. If someone doesn't react strongly, I immediately think they are not interested.
This is an important learning moment. Silence does not equal judgment. Sometimes people are thinking. Sometimes they are shy. Sometimes they simply don't know the topic yet. Instead of shrinking, you can gently continue. For example, I know it sounds a bit unusual, but I really enjoy it. Or, I started learning it recently and I'm still discovering new things. These sentences keep confidence alive without pressure.
I like that. It feels honest, but relaxed.
Yes, confidence is calm honesty. Let's explore another situation many learners face. You share your passion, and someone says, "Oh, I don't know much about that." Many learners panic here. They think the conversation is finished, but actually, this is a golden opportunity. You can become a storyteller. Try saying, "That's okay. I didn't know much about it before either. What interests you lately?" You shift from explanation to connection.
So, conversation is more about energy than knowledge.
Exactly. People remember how conversations feel, not how perfect the English was. Now I want to introduce a powerful phrase for passion conversations. I've always been drawn to. This phrase sounds natural and emotional. Example, I've always been drawn to storytelling. I've always been drawn to understanding people. It expresses long-term interest without sounding formal.
That sounds very natural. Let me try. I've always been drawn to understanding how people communicate.
Excellent. Your sentence feels personal and confident. Now let's talk about something deeper. Many learners disconnect from their passions when speaking English because English feels like a school language. They separate their real personality from English. Have you ever felt like you become a different person when speaking English?
Yes, absolutely. In my native language, I feel expressive and emotional. In English, I feel smaller.
That experience is very common because language learning often starts with textbooks, rules, and correction. But English is not only an academic tool, it is also a personal voice. Today, we are rebuilding that connection. Your personality already exists. English is simply another channel for it. Let's try an exercise. Finish this sentence. In my native language, I usually describe myself as.
In my native language, I describe myself as curious and thoughtful.
Now say it in English.
I am a curious person and I enjoy thinking deeply about ideas.
Wonderful. Notice how natural that sounded. You did not need complicated words, you only needed self-acceptance. Now let's move into a deeper real-life scenario. Imagine you are in an international workplace. Colleagues are discussing hobbies during lunch. Someone confidently talks about fitness. Another talks about traveling. You feel your passion is quieter, maybe reading, journaling, or learning online. What can you say? You can join naturally. I spend a lot of my free time learning online. I really enjoy exploring ideas about communication and self-development. Simple, honest, clear.
I think one problem is comparison again. When others sound confident, I suddenly doubt myself.
Yes, comparison steals voice. But remember this, confidence in conversation does not come from having the most exciting passion. It comes from comfort with yourself. Even small passions can create deep conversations. For example, I enjoy walking alone and thinking. I like observing people in daily life. I enjoy quiet hobbies. These sentences invite meaningful discussion.
I never thought quiet interests could sound interesting.
They absolutely can. Depth often attracts attention more than excitement. Now let's practice expanding passion naturally. I will give a short answer, you expand it. Ready?
Ready.
I like reading.
I like reading, especially books about personal growth. They help me understand myself better.
Excellent. Next one. I watch videos.
I watch videos about psychology and communication because I enjoy learning how people think and interact.
Very natural. Listeners, this is a key speaking habit. Add one detail, add one reason, add one feeling. That's enough. Now let's talk about emotional reactions from others. Sometimes people respond positively. They might say, "That's interesting. That sounds cool. I've never heard of that." Many learners don't know how to continue. Here are simple follow-up responses. "Yes, I discovered it recently. I started learning it during my free time. It really changed how I see things." These sentences keep conversation flowing.
I realize conversation is like building small steps together.
Exactly. One sentence invites another. Now I want to address a hidden fear. Some learners worry their English is not good enough to express complex passions, so they avoid sharing deep ideas. But here is the truth. Complex thinking can live inside simple English. For example, I think learning about emotions helps me understand life better. Simple words, deep meaning.
That sentence feels powerful, but easy.
Yes, you do not need difficult vocabulary to sound thoughtful. You need sincerity. Let's practice a longer role play. I will be a coworker meeting you during lunch. So, Mile, what do you usually enjoy doing after work?
After work, I usually spend time learning about communication and personal growth. I enjoy understanding how people express emotions.
That sounds meaningful. How did you become interested in that?
I used to be shy in conversations. Learning communication helps me feel more confident and connected to others.
Beautiful response. You shared story, emotion, and growth. That is advanced communication using beginner-friendly English.
I notice something changing while we practice. I feel less afraid of sounding imperfect.
That is the goal. Fluency grows when fear becomes smaller than curiosity. And the more you talk about what truly matters to you, the more natural your English becomes, because passion gives energy to language. Let's continue exploring how to handle difficult reactions and unexpected responses while still protecting your confidence and voice. When people begin sharing their true passions, a new challenge often appears. Not silence, not grammar mistakes, but reactions. Sometimes reactions are warm, sometimes neutral, and sometimes uncomfortable. Learning how to handle reactions calmly is an important part of confident English communication.
Yes, this is something I really struggle with. If someone reacts strongly, I feel nervous. If someone reacts weakly, I also feel nervous. Feel nervous in both situations.
That's very honest, Mile. Let's talk about 3 common reactions people give when you share a passion. Reaction 1, interest. Someone says, "That's really interesting. Tell me more." This is the easiest situation, but surprisingly, many learners still panic because suddenly they must continue speaking.
Yes, when someone asks me to explain more, my mind goes blank.
That happens because you try to sound perfect. Instead, remember this rule. You don't need to explain everything. You only need to share one small story. For example, I became interested in communication when I noticed misunderstandings happening around me. Or, I started learning about it during the pandemic when I had more time to reflect. Stories are easier than explanations.
So, storytelling helps when vocabulary feels limited.
Exactly. Stories organize your thoughts naturally. Let's practice. I ask you, tell me more about your passion.
Okay. I became interested in communication because I used to feel uncomfortable in social situations. I wanted to understand why conversations sometimes felt difficult.
Beautiful. Notice how natural that sounded. You didn't use complex grammar, you used experience. Experience is powerful language material. Now let's move to reaction 2, confusion. Sometimes people say, "Oh, really?" Or, "I don't quite understand." Many learners interpret this as criticism, but often it simply means curiosity. You can respond calmly. "Yeah, it's a bit hard to explain, but I enjoy learning how people express emotions and ideas." Or, "It's basically about understanding communication patterns." You simplify, not defend.
I like the phrase, "it's basically about." It feels helpful.
Yes, that phrase is excellent for beginners and intermediate learners. It gives you time to organize your thoughts. Now let's discuss reaction 3, judgment or teasing. This is the situation learners fear most. Someone might say jokingly, "That sounds boring. Why would you like that?"
Yes, that's exactly what scares me.
Let's learn a powerful mindset. You do not need to win approval. You only need to stay comfortable with yourself. Here are calm responses. "Maybe it sounds boring, but I really enjoy it. I know it's not for everyone, but it interests me. It relaxes me, and that's why I like it." Notice something important. No argument, no apology, just confidence.
So, confident English is not aggressive English.
Exactly. Confidence is peaceful self-acceptance. Now let's explore another emotional moment. Sometimes you judge yourself before others do. You might say, "It's silly, but I like." I know it's weird, but these phrases weaken your message.
Oh, I say that often.
Many learners do. Instead, replace apology language with neutral language. Instead of, it's silly, but I like gaming, say, I really enjoy gaming. It helps me relax. Small change, big difference.
That feels much stronger.
Yes, words shape confidence. Let's practice removing apology language. I'll give you sentences, you improve them. Ready?
Ready.
It's kind of strange, but I like studying human behavior.
I like studying human behavior because I find people fascinating.
Excellent. Next, I know it's boring, but I enjoy reading psychology books.
I enjoy reading psychology books because they help me understand emotions better.
Perfect transformation. Listeners, remember this. Do not insult your own passion before sharing it. Now let's talk about another real-life difficulty, speaking about passion in group conversations. Group conversations move fast, people interrupt, topics change quickly, many English learners become silent.
Yes, in group conversations, I almost disappear. I wait for the perfect moment, but it never comes.
Instead of waiting for perfection, try joining with a small entry sentence. Here are useful entry phrases. That reminds me, I've actually been interested in something similar. I've recently started learning about that too. These phrases help you enter naturally without interrupting aggressively.
Let me try. If people talk about productivity, I could say, that reminds me, I've been learning about communication habits recently.
Exactly. You connect your passion to the existing topic. Conversation becomes collaboration. Now let's explore emotional vulnerability. Sometimes sharing passion feels scary because passion reveals identity. When you say what you love, you show who you are, and that can feel risky.
Yes, it feels personal. If someone rejects my passion, I feel personally rejected.
That feeling is very natural. But remember, people react to topics, not to your worth as a person. Someone may not share your interest, but they can still respect you. Learning this separation protects your confidence. Let's practice emotional framing. Instead of thinking, they don't like my passion, try thinking, they simply have different interests. This mindset keeps your voice steady.
I think that mindset alone can change how I speak.
Yes, confidence often begins inside thought patterns, not vocabulary lists. Now I want to introduce a beautiful conversational technique. It is called passion linking. When you share your passion, connect it to universal feelings. For example, I enjoy learning communication skills because everyone wants to feel understood. Now your passion becomes relatable.
That sounds powerful. Let me try. I enjoy studying human behavior because everyone wants better relationships.
Wonderful. You transformed a personal interest into shared human experience. That invites connection. Now let's move into a longer role play. Imagine you're at an international meetup. People are introducing themselves. I'll guide the conversation. Hi, everyone. Let's share something we're passionate about. Mile, would you like to start?
Sure. I'm really interested in communication and personal growth. I enjoy learning how people express ideas and emotions.
That's interesting. What made you start learning about that?
I used to feel nervous speaking with people. Learning communication helped me understand conversations better and become more confident.
That's inspiring. Notice how naturally the conversation continued. You didn't impress people with complicated English. You connected through honesty.
I realize something now. When I focus on sharing meaning instead of perfect English, speaking becomes easier.
Exactly. Meaning leads, grammar follows. Now let's address another hidden fear. Some learners worry their passion vocabulary is limited. They repeat the same words again and again, but repetition is not failure. You can reuse words with variation. For example, I enjoy learning about communication. I'm interested in how people communicate. I like exploring communication styles. Same idea, different expression.
That makes speaking feel less stressful.
Yes, variety grows naturally over time. Now let's do a guided speaking practice for listeners. Take a slow breath. Think about a passion you usually keep private. Now say out loud, I've recently been spending more time on... Pause. It helps me... Pause. I feel... blank when I do it. You just expressed passion using simple English.
This practice feels surprisingly emotional.
Because language becomes powerful when it reflects identity. And as you practice sharing passions, something important happens. You stop translating personality, you start expressing personality. Let's continue exploring how to deepen conversations, ask meaningful questions, and build genuine connections through passion-centered English conversations. As your confidence grows, something beautiful begins to happen. You no longer speak only to answer questions. You begin to create conversations. And this is where many English learners experience a breakthrough. Because real fluency is not just speaking about yourself, it is knowing how to invite others into meaningful dialogue.
I think this is where I still struggle. I can talk a little about my passion now, but I don't always know how to continue the conversation naturally. Sometimes there is an awkward silence.
Yes, and that silence often feels heavier in a second language, but silence is not failure. It simply means the conversation needs a bridge. Today, we will learn how to build that bridge. The secret is curious questions. When you share your passion, follow it with gentle curiosity toward the other person. For example, I really enjoy learning about communication. What kind of topics interest you? Simple, warm, open.
So instead of worrying about what to say next, I focus on the other person.
Exactly. Conversation becomes lighter when attention moves outward. Let's learn 3 powerful follow-up question styles. 1. Experience questions. What got you interested in that? How did you start? These questions invite stories. 2. Feeling questions. What do you enjoy most about it? How does it make you feel? These create emotional connection. 3. Future questions. Do you want to develop it further? Is it something you want to do more in the future? These show genuine interest.
I notice these questions are simple but meaningful.
Yes, simple English can create deep conversations. Let's practice a realistic dialogue. Imagine you shared your passion and now you want to keep the conversation alive. I'll play a new acquaintance. I really enjoy hiking and spending time outdoors.
That sounds relaxing. What do you enjoy most about hiking?
Excellent! You showed interest without pressure. Now, notice something important. You don't need knowledge about hiking to continue the conversation. Curiosity is enough.
That removes a lot of anxiety. Sometimes I stay quiet because I don't know the topic well.
Many learners think conversation requires expertise, but conversation requires attention, not expertise. Now, let's explore another important skill, sharing small personal reactions. Instead of long explanations, add short emotional responses. Examples: that sounds exciting. I've never tried that, but it sounds interesting. I can imagine that feels rewarding. These small reactions make conversations warm.
So I don't always need a long answer.
Exactly. Conversation is rhythm. Short responses and longer responses together create natural flow. Now I want to talk about something deeper. When you begin expressing passions confidently, people may start asking deeper questions about you. Questions like, why is that important to you? What does it mean to you personally? These questions can feel emotional.
Yes, those questions feel vulnerable. Sometimes I don't know how to answer without becoming too serious.
You can answer honestly while keeping language simple. For example, it's important to me because it helps me grow as a person. Or, it gives me a sense of purpose. Notice how clear and calm these sentences are. You're sharing meaning without complicated vocabulary.
I like the phrase sense of purpose. It feels strong but easy.
Yes, certain emotional phrases are powerful tools. Let's learn a few more natural expressions for deeper conversations. It helps me understand myself. It gives me energy. It keeps me motivated. It makes me feel connected to others. It helps me relax mentally. These phrases work in many situations. Now let's practice emotional expansion. I will give a basic sentence. You deepen it. Sentence: I like learning English.
I like learning English because it allows me to connect with people from different cultures. It makes me feel more open to the world.
Beautiful. You added meaning and emotion. Listeners, this is how confidence grows, not by memorizing perfect sentences, but by connecting language with feelings. Now let's explore a common challenge. Sometimes conversations move away from your passion. The topic changes quickly. Many learners feel disappointed or disconnected.
Yes, I feel that often. I finally start talking comfortably, and suddenly the topic changes.
That's completely normal. Conversations are living things. They move naturally. Instead of feeling lost, you can gently reconnect later. For example, that's interesting. It actually relates to something I've been learning about communication. You softly bring your passion back when appropriate.
So, I don't need to control the conversation.
Exactly. Fluent speakers guide conversations gently, not forcefully. Now let's talk about active listening, one of the most powerful communication skills. Active listening means showing you are present. Small phrases help. I see. That makes sense. Really? That's interesting. These short responses encourage the speaker to continue.
I used to think these were unnecessary words.
Actually, they are essential. They make conversation feel alive. Language is not only information exchange, it is emotional connection. Now let's try a longer role play combining everything we learned. Imagine you meet someone at an international event. Hi, nice to meet you. What do you usually enjoy doing outside work?
Nice to meet you too. I spend a lot of time learning about communication and personal development. I'm really interested in how people express ideas and emotions.
That sounds meaningful. What made you interested in that?
I used to feel shy in conversations, so I started learning communication skills to improve myself. It helped me become more confident.
That's great. I enjoy creative writing myself.
That sounds interesting. What do you enjoy most about writing?
Excellent flow. You shared, you asked, you connected. That is real conversational fluency.
I noticed something new. I'm not thinking about mistakes anymore. I'm thinking about connection.
That shift changes everything. When your goal becomes connection instead of perfection, English starts feeling natural. Now let's explore emotional confidence one step deeper. Sometimes, after sharing passions comfortably, learners begin to express dreams. Dreams can feel even more vulnerable than passions because dreams reveal hope.
Yes, dreams feel risky to share. What if people think my dream is unrealistic?
You can express dreams softly and confidently. Use phrases like, I hope to, I'd love to, one day I want to. These phrases sound humble yet confident. Example, I'd love to help people communicate better one day.
Let me try. One day, I want to use communication skills to help others feel understood.
Beautifully said. You expressed aspiration without pressure. And listeners, notice something important. You don't need perfect English to share meaningful dreams. You only need courage and simple words. A soft pause. As conversations deepen, your English becomes more than a language skill. It becomes a way to show your authentic self to the world. And when authenticity appears, confidence naturally follows. Let's continue moving toward the final stage, where speaking about passions becomes effortless, natural, and fully part of your everyday English life. When people begin learning English, they often imagine fluency as a distant destination. They imagine a future version of themselves speaking perfectly, confidently, effortlessly. But something important happens during this journey. Fluency does not arrive suddenly. It grows quietly, through moments of honesty, moments when you stop hiding your thoughts, moments when you allow your real interests to appear in conversation. And today, we have been exploring one of the most powerful forms of honest communication, speaking about your true passions. I feel different compared to the beginning of our conversation. At first, I was focused on fear of judgment, fear of mistakes, fear of sounding strange. Now I feel more curious than afraid. That shift is very meaningful because confidence is not the absence of fear. Confidence is speaking even when small fear still exists. And many English learners wait too long. They think, I will speak about myself when my English becomes perfect. But confidence grows in the opposite direction. You speak first, confidence follows. I think I understand now. When I talked about safe topics, conversations felt shallow, but when I shared something personal, even in simple English, the conversation felt real. Exactly. Real communication happens when language carries identity. Let's reflect on something together. Think about the last meaningful conversation you had in any language. Was it meaningful because of perfect grammar or because someone shared something genuine? Definitely because it was genuine. Yes, humans connect through authenticity, not perfection, and English gives you a global opportunity to share who you are with people from different cultures, backgrounds, and experiences. Your passions become bridges between worlds. Now I want to talk about a final emotional barrier many learners face. Even after gaining confidence, there may still be moments when self-doubt returns. You may think, my English isn't good today, I sound awkward, maybe I should stay quiet. These moments are normal. Confidence is not permanent. It is a habit you practice repeatedly. So even confident speakers sometimes feel uncertain? Of course, every speaker experiences moments of hesitation. The difference is that confident communicators continue anyway. They allow imperfect sentences to carry real meaning. Let's learn a powerful internal sentence you can tell yourself before speaking. My message matters more than my mistakes. Take a moment and repeat it silently. My message matters more than my mistakes. That sentence feels calming because it shifts your focus from performance to connection. Now let's imagine a future version of you. You meet someone new. They ask, "What are you passionate about?" Instead of panic, you pause calmly, you breathe, and you answer naturally. I'm really interested in understanding people and communication. I enjoy learning how people express ideas and emotions. You speak slowly, you speak honestly, you allow your personality to appear. That moment is fluency. Not perfect grammar, not advanced vocabulary, presence. I like that idea, fluency as presence. Yes, presence means you are mentally there, emotionally open, and willing to share. Now let's do one final extended role play to bring everything together. Imagine you are meeting someone during a casual evening gathering. Hi, it's nice meeting you. What do you usually enjoy doing in your free time? Nice to meet you too. I spend a lot of time learning about communication and personal growth. I'm really curious about how people express ideas and emotions. That sounds interesting. What made you start learning about that? I used to feel shy in conversations, so I wanted to understand communication better. Learning about it helped me feel more confident and connected to others. That's wonderful. Do you hope to do something with that interest in the future? Yes, I'd love to use these skills to help people feel understood and communicate more openly. Beautiful conversation. Notice what happened. You shared passion, you shared story, you shared purpose, and all with clear, simple English. I realize now that speaking about passions is not only about English learning, it's also about accepting myself. That realization is powerful. Language learning is deeply human. When you allow yourself to speak honestly, English stops being a foreign language. It becomes your language, your experiences, your dreams, your curiosity. And listeners, I want to speak directly to you now. Somewhere in your life, there is a passion you rarely talk about. Maybe you think it is too simple, too personal, too different. But that passion is part of your voice, and your voice deserves space in every language you speak. You do not need permission to talk about what you love. You only need willingness. Let's take a final speaking practice together. Take a slow breath. Think about something that genuinely brings you joy. Now say aloud, I really enjoy blank because it makes me feel blank. Allow the sentence to be imperfect. Allow it to be yours. Take a moment. It feels surprisingly emotional to say that aloud. Yes, because you are not only practicing English, you are practicing self-expression. And the more you express yourself, the more natural English becomes. Before we close today, I want to leave you with 3 gentle reminders. First, your passion does not need to impress anyone. It only needs to be true. Second, simple English can carry deep meaning. Never underestimate honest words. Third, confidence grows through use, not waiting. Every conversation is practice. Every sentence is progress. I feel encouraged, not because I learned difficult vocabulary, but because I learned how to be myself while speaking English. And that is the heart of confident communication. To everyone listening, thank you for spending this time with us. Wherever you are in your English journey, remember this: your thoughts matter, your experiences matter, your passions matter. Speak them gently, speak them proudly, speak them even when your voice shakes a little. Because every time you share something real, your English becomes stronger, and so do you. I'm Nora, and this has been Speak English Confident. And I'm Miles. Thank you for learning and growing with us today. Take care of yourself, keep practicing, and keep speaking with confidence. We'll meet again soon.